Tonight, in a new legal blow, a federal judge denying former President Trump's request to toss out criminal charges alleging he hoarded classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. The presumptive GOP nominee seen arriving this morning, greeting supporters gathered outside the Florida courthouse. His attorneys arguing the law on national security secrets is too vague and that Mr. Trump believed he was allowed to keep the documents as his personal records, according to the Presidential Records Act, saying last night,
I took them very legally, and I wasn't hiding them.
But federal Judge Aileen Cannon, a Trump appointee, tonight writing a dismissal over vagueness now would be, quote, premature. And earlier at the hearing, appearing skeptical of any argument to toss the charges based on the Presidential Records Act, telling Mr. Trump's team it's difficult to see how this gets you to the dismissal of an indictment. No decision yet on a trial date. Mr. Trump's team urging her to push it until after the November election. That ruling coming after a surprising setback for Manhattan's prosecutors just 11 days before Mr. Trump's hush money trial was set to begin. Tonight, the district attorney's office saying they do not oppose waiting 30 days to start the trial in an abundance of caution. The case where prosecutors have accused the former president of bearing a hush money payment to a porn star ahead of the 2016 election, now marred in a fight over a significant number of documents related to Michael Cohen, the man who made the payment. Records Mr. Trump's attorneys say they need to prepare their defense. According to a new court filing, tens of thousands of pages of documents were only recently turned over to Mr. Trump's team. A Trump spokesman responding tonight, this case has no basis in law or fact.
And so, Laura, when might we hear the date for the trial here in New York?
Well, the judge can rule any time now, Lester. As you mentioned, Mr. Trump's defense team says they need at least 90 days to delay here, given the number of documents. But the judge could do something shorter than that, or he could decide he wants to hear from both sides before ruling.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.